Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I just want to check in on the chat. If you could tell me if you see the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. Great. I'm so glad that all of you could join us this morning. I am recording this session, so if you need to go back and review anything or you want to share it with someone, you'll have a recording that'll go out to your email. So for those of you that may not have met me before, my name is Lisa Patterson. I am the program manager for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Tax Workshops. And the reason why we're doing this information session today is we have a lot of changes that our program has gone through for this year. And I just wanted an opportunity to tell you firsthand all the exciting things that are happening. So a few guidelines for today. When I ask a question, and I've already asked a question, I asked about the PowerPoint, and you've already used the chat box to respond. So thank you for that. If you want to ask a question, please put it in the Q&A section so that I can keep your questions separate from your responses to my questions. And as already mentioned, we will be emailing a link for this video. So I'm going to ask my first question, other than the PowerPoint, is tell me, in what city do you live? What is your primary profession and years that you've attended our tax workshops, just so I get a sense of who my audience is today. I'll wait a minute for you to respond. And while you're doing that, again, thank you for your support of our program over the years. I wish I could see all of you personally and shake your hand and just tell you thank you for supporting our program. For those of you that haven't met me yet, I came on board in October and actually took over the program in January. And so I'm so excited to, again, be working with you. I've enjoyed speaking with some of you on the phone and through email. Let me just go through our learning objectives for today. And thank you again for responding through the chat. That gives me a good sense of who's my audience today. So our learning objectives for today are to introduce our new team members, to explain how our program aligns to our data-driven goals, provide an overview of the registration process, and to answer your participant questions. So we're going to jump right in. On your screen, you should see our team. We have all new presenters this year. So I just wanted to take a moment to introduce them. And a few of them have joined us today, and I'll have them introduce each of them have an opportunity to introduce themselves. So on your screen, our first presenter that we have for this year, his name is Herb Wiebe. He is from El Paso, Texas. And as your screen shows, he's an enrolled agent and also a certified financial planner. He, in 2016, became a partner with Pathfinder Financial Services, and he works with financial planning, investments, insurance, and tax preparation. Secondly, on your screen, we have Scott Youngblood. He is a CPA and an attorney in the Houston area. He works on individual taxes, partnerships, corporations, estates, trusts. He has a master's in business administration, and he is also an adjunct professor at the University of Houston. And on to your right on your screen, Catherine Osment. She is a CPA that took 3 different accounting firms and combined them into her own CPA firm. She has over 1,300 clients and 15 employees with her business. And then we have Guido Vanderhoven. He's an enrolled agent, and I am going to pause and let him jump on just for a moment so that he can introduce himself.
Well, good morning, everybody. And Lisa, thank you for the opportunity. And I'm a little bit more relaxed because on Monday of this week, I was in North Carolina on the beach. And so I got off the road yesterday afternoon. So anyway, just thank you for the opportunity. And in a former life, I was doing what Lisa was doing at NC State University. And I've also done tax returns, mostly focused in the agricultural sector. And that's been mostly my experience. So thank you and good morning.
Guido has been with our program for several years, and he's actually getting ready to retire. So this will be his last year with us. And so we will definitely enjoy his presentation on agricultural tax issues coming this fall. Our next presenter that I have also has joined us today. His name is Kelly Myers. He's an enrolled agent. So I will pause a moment and let him jump on to introduce himself.
Hey, good morning, Lisa. Good morning, everybody. I see there's quite a few folks online. So I am brief bio background. I spent about over 30 years with the IRS as a senior technical advisor, working for the headquarters office most of that time, working various topics from 469 to 1031s, 1033s, and all sorts of fun stuff. Anyway, so I left the service at the end of 17, and I run a tax advisory service out of Huntsville, Alabama, primarily supporting tax practitioners across the country. I have a small tax practice, and I do a fair amount of teaching seminars through IRS nationwide tax forums. I teach at Lagutif schools. I've taught for Auburn the material we use for Lagutif. I've taught that since probably 2014 or something like that. And like I say, I speak for a number of the schools as well as other organizations across the country. Just to have love the great time face to face with folks and look forward to teaching out in Texas.
Thank you, Kelly. And I've already introduced myself. So we have a great team of presenters for you for this season. They bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I know that you will be blessed to hear their presentations. And one of the things that I can say about all of our presenters is that they are service oriented. They really want to provide the best education for you and support for you as professionals. So let me talk a little bit about our data-driven goals. Last year, I asked you to fill out an evaluation form at the end of our presentations so that I could see what was working well and what things that you would like to see the program do. And based on those evaluations, we have 4 data-driven goals that we are working on for this season. The first one is to build community. Then we have expand workshops, develop purposeful and prioritized presentations, and finally, to monitor program effectiveness to improve the program. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to talk about each of these goals and how the program is going to look a little different based on these goals. So the first goal that we have is to build community. I really want to have you feel that you are supported throughout the year and not just for our presentations. And so that's a main goal for me. And if you have had a chance to look at our new website, you've seen that there are support things on our website, like resources that can be an access point for you. I just want to check in real quick. Can you tell me in the chat who has seen our website? If you've actually visited our website, can you tell me yes or no in the chat? Okay, so there's several of you that have not had a chance to look at our website yet. If you have an email from me, that in that email is a link to our new website. Now that we're under AgriLife, we are not using the website that we used last year. And so you'll want to make sure to bookmark this website so that you can go back to it frequently. Here on my screen on the upper left-hand corner here is what our workshop website looks like. And you'll see that it has an about tab, our team, workshops, policies, resources, testimonials, and contact information. So I highly recommend that after today's information session that you go to the website It will have all the information that you need about our workshops, descriptions, locations, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, but that is your go-to place. So we've also tried to build community with email. I know that I've tried to send out emails throughout the year so that you can have a reference point of what's going on. Something new this year, block hotel rooms. For those of you that will be joining us in person, I have contracted with various hotels in various cities, and we'll talk about which cities here in a minute. But I have provided a block hotel in our in-person workshops so that you have a place that if you would like to go at a reduced rate, you can go with that hotel. You don't have to, but it is an option that I'm trying to provide for you. The next thing on your list is networking lunches. So part of the cost for your workshops, for those of you that are in person, we will offer a networking lunch. And that's why you see this picture of good food there on your screen. We are providing lunch, and during lunch, I'm going to ask some questions that you all can talk about as in your small group tables to get to know one another and just to help each other and be a resource for each other. Part of building community is not just what we do as presenters, but how you all can support each other. And then a couple of things that we're looking towards the future. When I give you the evaluation today, I'm going to be asking you if you would be interested in a virtual networking event. And that would be for those of you that do webinars and don't come in person, to provide something through Zoom where you can have conversations with one another in a supported environment. So that's a possibility for future. And also I'm looking at social media. One of the questions that you'll see on today's evaluation is, what kind of social media do you use, so that I know that if that's a possibility to support you in a better way. So just some things for you to keep in mind under that goal number 1, build community. For goal number 2, we have to expand the workshops. And so we have hired our new presenters, and my light turned off. It's on a sensor. Oh, well, anyway. So we have new presenters, and we also are doing our in-person workshops in Dallas, College Station, San Antonio, and El Paso. We also have brought back the advanced income tax. We haven't been able to offer that for a few years, and so we're bringing that back. We expanded our agricultural tax issues to 6 hours. Last year it was 4. And in the future, we are also looking at micro sessions. That would be a workshop between 1 to 8 hours. It could be a whole day on special tax topics. And that'll be a question on your evaluation also for today. When you go to our website and you click on the workshops tab, you'll see these 3 workshops. We have the general income tax workshop, the agricultural tax workshop, and the advanced tax workshop. And so when you go, you'll be able to click on that arrow and it'll give you all the information that you need. For goal number 3, we have to develop purposeful and prioritized presentations. So one of the things that I did for my group is that I have an education background, and I really wanted to challenge them to be more interactive with our presentation. And so one of the things that we talked about was the webinar evaluation rubric for extension teaching. And even though it's webinar focused, interactive strategies work in person as well. And so one of the things that we're going to try to do is to make our presentations more interactive. And we are going to be doing peer coaching. You met Kelly earlier today, and one of the reasons why I brought him on board for this year is he has many years experience presenting, and he is very familiar with the content that we teach. And so one of the things that I asked Kelly to do is just come alongside our new presenters and to help them in the planning and the presentation portion, to be that additional support. And then finally on this goal number 3, we have co-teaching. So when you go to the presentations, you'll see 2 presenters at the presentations to give each other support, not only in the presentation, but in the answering of questions. Goal 4 is to monitor program effectiveness. So what we are moving towards is an electronic form of evaluating. If you've come to our in-person workshops before, you've seen paper evaluations. We're moving away from that and into electronic evaluations. So when you fill these out, we'll be able to have instant access to your feedback, and we'll be able to analyze that data and improve the program as we go. And so when you go to a presentation, you'll see a QR code or a link for instructor evaluations and also one for workshop program evaluations. So you'll either scan the QR code or you will click on a link and it'll take you directly to the on-person evaluation. So what looks different for you for registration? When you go to our website, you'll see a button that says registration coming soon. And it'll look just like you see here on your screen. All the registration is through AgriLife Register. So to register, as it says on this slide, you're going to go to our website, click registration, and it's going to take you through a series of prompts to find what workshop you want to attend, and then it'll collect the normal kind of information that you've seen before. So it'll ask you your name, it'll ask you all your personal address, phone number, and then it'll also ask you if you have a PTIN number. Do you have a state bar number? Do you have a CFP number so that you can get your continuing education credit? When you do the registration process, if you have questions on that page, it'll tell you to either, for technical questions, to call the number on that page or email that address. I don't handle the registration directly. If you have questions about the workshops or anything about the workshops themselves, I'd be happy to answer questions. But if you have any trouble with the actual form to register, you'll need to contact AgriLife because they're the ones that host the page. And when you get your confirmation, it'll be through AgriLife confirmation at ag.tamu.edu. So make sure that you add that email to your address book so that when they send out the confirmation, that it goes to you directly. So that's different this year. All of the registration is online. It is with a credit card. So I won't be able to do any credit card things over the phone. You'll have to call them. I'm not sure if they'll take a credit card over the phone if you call them, but they won't accept checks. It has to be an electronic form of payment. So I'm going to move on to my next screen here. Okay, so we briefly talked about those data-driven goals: to build community, to expand our workshops, to develop purposeful and prioritized presentations, and to monitor program effectiveness to improve the program. So in the chat box, can you tell me which goal or goals will meet your learning needs as a professional? As you heard some of those new ideas and those program features, which ones are you most excited about that can help you as a professional? I'll wait a minute for your response. Great. Looks like 2, expand workshops, and 3, develop purposeful and prioritized presentations are the most asked for data-driven goals that will support you the best. Thank you for your response. So just to kind of bring everything together, our core values for our program are people, program, and partnerships. You are the people that we serve, and we are happy to serve you. And with our quality program, you've seen our materials over the years if you've been to our workshops, and you know that it's quality materials to support you. And through supporting you, the people, and providing those programs, we hope to partner with you and serving your clients in a better way. Yeah. So I'm going to pause at this moment. I'm going to be checking the Q&A and then answering any questions that you might have. So for this year, because we had to change with our presenters and locations, we are doing College Station instead of Houston, but we are looking at expanding that back into Houston for next year. What other questions do you have? Someone on chat asked for me to remind on all the locations. So for this year, for our in-person, we are in-person locations: Dallas, College Station, San Antonio, and El Paso. When you do your evaluation form for today, it is asking for some additional cities that we are looking into expanding for a future. So make sure when you fill out your evaluation to indicate what cities you would like to see in the future. So another question that I see here is, when will registration begin? So since we are working through AgriLife, they sent me a draft listing yesterday, and I am meeting with them after our meeting today to do those revisions. As soon as registration's available, you'll see that button linked to the AgriLife Register website. And I will also send out an email to let you know that registration is open. It should be open by the end of this week, but I'm hoping for sooner. So as soon as it's available, I will let you know. Let's see. So the question is, are the general and advanced workshops still 16 hours? Yes, both the general and advanced, whether you go in person or a webinar, is 16 hours. So I recommend you check our website for the dates for the workshops that we have in person. Again, somebody's asking about Corpus Christi. On the evaluation, it'll ask you for a possible city location, so you can indicate that on your evaluation. So we are doing both webinars and in person, so you can attend virtually or in person. For both the general and the advanced, the agricultural tax issues is only available as a webinar. And so you will receive, as part of your registration, you will still receive the same national income tax workbook for the general income tax. And if you come to advanced, you will receive a workbook as well. So we do provide those materials for you. And if you come to agricultural tax issues, we have the agricultural tax book as well. Let's see.
Lisa, can I pop in for just a minute?
Yes, please.
Well, let's see, there we go. Well, number one, relative to the two books that Lisa just referenced, yesterday, the Nitwa book went to press. All the files were sent, so they are in process. So that probably takes a little stress out of Lisa's life to know that something has gone to press. And the Friday, the 24th, of August, the Ag Tax Issues books went to press. So all of that is in process through Lagudif and will be made available to the programs. I just, as a former tax school director, I want to back up Lisa just a little bit relative to locations. One of the things, and I can appreciate that Texas is a large state. I can appreciate that, and I think Kelly mentioned it as well. that we really liked and we prefer to teach in person, but the webinar has, thanks to COVID, kind of become a really standard. But if we're just to think through, and many of you are operating your own businesses as well, these tax schools need to be standalone and be able to cover their costs in their location. So as Lisa's slide, about 3 or 4 slides back, one of the partnerships that we have as tax schools is with you, the attendees. And we encourage you to reach out to your colleagues and say, hey, we want to have one in Corpus Christi. We want to have one again in Houston. But I can tell you that 25 people in Houston won't work. There's just too much. So the word needs to get out. Moving back, we're doing the same thing in Nebraska. I will be teaching the tax schools in Nebraska, and we are also expanding back into a location with the understanding that we've got to have certain numbers, and we rely on past participants to do that. So it is a team effort. I hope I'm not stepping on Lisa's toes, but just kind of saying, yes, we'd love to be in Corpus Christi. We'd love to be in Houston. We'd love to be, in Waco. But folks, what we have heard and what we have seen nationally, and just this is a statistic that holds up across the Laguda states, is folks will raise their hand and say, yes, 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 we want to be in person. We want to be in person. And then 40% of those folks that raise their hand saying they want to be in person actually show up. So where do the other 60% go? They go to the webinar. So just a little plug to help Lisa on the administrative side and to communicate. And I think she's already made mention of that, that you have an opportunity to do so on the survey that follows this. So Lisa, I hope that might be helpful in your neck of the woods, but that's
Thank you, Guido.
that's my 2 cents worth.
I appreciate that. That helps. One of the things that I try to do is as Guido mentioned, is try to keep the cost down. And anytime we do an in-person workshop, it's more expensive. And so we brought on these new presenters because we're trying to expand what we're doing, bringing back the advanced, trying to be in person. And I encourage you, just as Guido said, start inviting your colleagues, really encourage them to come along, because that's what's going to help our program to be expanding, is to get the word out and to invite more people to come. So today's session is not CPE. Somebody asked about any CPE for this session. This is just so that I could have an opportunity to meet with you personally and give you some information about our program, since everything's new. We're being sponsored now through AgriLife. So you have a new program manager, new presenters, new website, new phone number, lunches are new, hotels are new, classes are new, everything's new. So I just wanted an opportunity today to meet with you and to just tell you personally, first of all, that I appreciate your support of our program over the years. And then secondly, just to let you know what's happening, and then that way you feel better informed. So I had a question from Jennifer. She said, who are the presenters? So if you go to our website, there is a tab that says Our Team, and you'll be able to see all of the presenters' pictures with their bios, and that'll give you a real good sense of the education and experience that our presenters bring to our workshops. Let's see. Let me just check. So yeah, I'm looking to see if, thank you, Isaac, for dropping in a link to our website. I appreciate that. And I will put the QR code back up here for you. Some of you have asked for. This is my program, my contact information. So either take a screenshot, or you can, if you scan the QR code, it will download everything into your phone, save me as a contact. You're welcome to call me, to email me, and there's our website address. So if you scan that QR code, you'll have it right in your phone as a reference point. and you can, I'd be happy to speak with anyone individually on any issue. So, and somebody asked about how the new fees compare to the old fees on the fee for general income and for advanced income. Both are 16-hour workshops, and the cost is $440 for each of those workshops. And the agricultural tax issues, a 6-hour workshop is $180. I think that's all the questions that I see for now. So let me finally, you have some options to complete the survey for today. You can either scan this QR code and do it on your phone. As soon as you quit out of Zoom, you'll have an option to do your survey, or there will be a link sent to your email that you can also fill out the survey. So thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your busy day to meet with us. And again, I'm available for any follow-up questions or comments that you might have. And that concludes our session for today.